Hello, my fellow cigar smokers, and welcome to Smokers Pod. We're doing an unboxing, and not only that, we're smoking the cigar directly. What are we doing here? We're talking about the new CigarKings white. Really hard to see here. Here you go, there. And here's the logo. But let's talk about the box and the cigar in a second. Let's go. So guys, CigarKings white. They're bringing out here a neat little white box, but that thing is looking beautiful. Telling you guys, and there are a couple of special things about it, and that's why I thought it's worth making an unboxing and a smoking session in one episode. So guys, it's just more or less a simple cardboard box, right? White, they're calling it white, and it's the whole thing is design wise in white, like in different shades or reflections, and that is neat. I like it. A bad thing is, you know, that fucking stickers over here, they are printed on it, so you cannot remove it any longer. It's 100% made out of paper, and there's no artificial gluing or something in it, so it's just folded. That is, I think that's kick-ass, you know? So you can just put, when you put it in your trash and you separate all the shit, you can just put it in your paper trash and it's gone for good. That's great. So that's what I like about it. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot of information on it, other than the typical German tax band, which is telling us that the box is worth 146 euros and 40 cents. 12 cigars are in it, and that made like 12 euros and 20 cents per stick. Here you have a couple of extra information on it. Where is it made? All that stuff. CigarKings, Nicaragua. White, 5x55. So it's more or less a, I don't know, it really reminds me of the Romeo Chuleta White Churchill. Totalmente en mano entubado en Esteli, Nicaragua. Totally handmade with the entubado technique. That's a special technique on how rolling cigars, but I will tell you a little bit about it when I'm smoking the cigar. Designed by Philipp Kugler, Munich, Germany. Philipp Kugler is one of the guys behind CigarKings. So guys, let's open it, because inside it's also looking a little bit special. Right, suck. Ba-ba. Nice, really, and it's not falling out. Really, you can play around with it. Nothing will happen. Great looking thing. Really, I like it. And also here, really simple CigarKings white. Really, just, you know, it's very clean. It's very clean, and it reminds me a little bit about, also, you know, I'm an amateur when it's coming to design and architecture and all that shit. So, but it really, the whole design thing reminds me of Bauhaus. And we also had a cigar from True Estate that's called Bauhaus. And I'm not talking about the cigar, I'm talking about the design factor, right? So really, I fell in love with that thing. And if you pull it out, you need to put a little bit pressure on it, but then you have it out. And you can also just put it straight back in. Great box, really simple, you know, and that's what I like about it. Close it. The white cube, you could also call it. It's the white cube. Here's one cigar. I want to talk a little bit more about the cigar, about CigarKings. I'm doing it when I'm smoking it. So here we go. So my friend, CigarKings Nicaragua. It's all white like the box. Here you see a little bit of the reflection of the king's hat and the name CigarKings. Really dark cigar. I mentioned it, has a ring gauge of 55 and is exactly 5 inches long. Beautiful dark wrapper. It's an H2000 Maduro coming straight from Nicaragua, like all the other stuff that's in here. 2 binders, both from Nicaragua. They called it a CigarKings Select, so it's a secret what exactly it is. And fillers also Nicaragua. So you could think by looking at it, know what's in there, that this cigar will kick your ass. Let's see. This time, punch cutter. We're doing good. CigarKings, Munich, Germany, doing cigars where the tobacco is coming from Nicaragua. They're doing it since 2016. Philip Kukla, the man behind CigarKings, he was here in Frankfurt last week and doing a presentation in the Davidoff flagship store. And talking about the new CigarKings White White. Wonderful draw, right from the beginning. Pepper, black pepper, and that's what when I'm thinking about Nicaraguan tobacco, first thing that comes to my mind is black pepper that I always have when the cigar is starting. Well, maybe not always, but like 90% of the time. Wood and coffee. Good one. So, CigarKings, they're doing their thing for a couple of years now. But, my impression is, like last year, they like really started. Because up to last year, they were like, I don't want to say it's like was a secret, right? But it was not overly popular. They had their little online store, they were in a couple of shops, but you really had to look for it. They were not like over. It was sometimes, especially like say in a brick and mortar store, was hard to find. Last year they were doing a deal with Wolstoff. Wolstoff is one of the really big brick and mortar chains here in Germany. And they were placing their stuff over there. And especially here in Frankfurt, that CigarKings, not the White White because that one is new, but all the other cigars they had in their portfolio was running really good. I could see the guys here selling CigarKings like every day. And that's the special thing about brick and mortar stores, right? Because I mean, if you're shopping online, you have to you need to know what you want to buy in order to buy it, right? There's nobody telling you, oh, buy this and that. You have to go the extra step. Like, for example, watching a YouTube review where some stranger is talking about cigars, and then you think, okay, this dude is maybe trustworthy, and he maybe knows what he's talking about, so if he says it's a good cigar, I'm going to buy it. And then you're looking online for the cigar and then you buy it. But you know, that's the extra step. When you're going into a brick and mortar store, you trust the guy who's in the store, right? And he's telling you something. Listen, I have that new cigar. Give it a try. And maybe this guy who's selling cigars, he already knows the customer. And maybe he knows already what the customer likes and what not. And that's a perfect fit, right? And that's the way business runs. And it worked for CigarKings, really. And I love it because, you know, I met Philip last week here in Frankfurt. Very charismatic, nice guy, down to earth, humble. And he's not like, I mean, he's 20 something, right? So he's not forever in the cigar business, but he already knows a lot. And man, you need to have some balls to starting a cigar business with 20 something, right? There are things that there would have been easier, you know, but he found his passion. He's doing cigars. I love it. And it's one of the, very often I'm talking about the boutique cigar scene in the United States and how I love it. And in comparison to Germany, where we don't have that in that extent. And here's one example, right? CigarKings, it's a boutique brand. Also, they are successful, but Philip said, right, from this new CigarKings white, they were doing 1,000 boxes. I mean, that's literally nothing in Germany. And they're sold out. It's coming again in a couple of months, but right now it's sold out. So isn't that fantastic? Love it. Totalmente a mano entubado. That's what I want to talk about too. There are more or less two methods of rolling a cigar. It's a book filler and an entubado. And that's a special way how you're rolling cigars. With the entubado system, you have a couple of, let's say, small tubes inside. They're making it out of the tobacco. How they're rolling it, you know, when they're working with the filler. And in comparison to the book filler method, they're taking the whole bunch of tobacco and they're rolling it in a way that in German we call it Rauchkanäle, smoke channels, right, where the air is coming through. And in this one over here, there are at least 4 of these smoking channels, and not a whole lot of people are doing that. The Cubits are doing it. And right now that's maybe not the best example of cigars with good draw, but back in the days, man, they were kick-ass. And they do it right in Nicaragua right now, because the cigar is a good draw. I like the smoke output. Just the right amount of spice in there. And it's not as strong as I thought, really. I don't want to go that far to saying it's an overly mild cigar. Like, let's say it's a medium plus, right? Bodied cigar, also strength-wise. It's my first smoke today. It's a good starter, and I love that Maduro wrapper. Shiny, oily. I don't know if you can see that over here, really. It's a beautiful wrapper. that these guys were doing over in Nicaragua. Just a pleasure looking at it. Let me smoke it for a while. Back with our CigarKings white. Guys, I'm officially impressed. For 12 euros, they made a fantastic tasting, good looking, well packaged cigar. Really. I already had a lot of cigars that are coming from Germany. Not talking about German tobacco. We're not good at tobacco at all. But there are a few companies who are doing cigars, like premium long filler cigars, and most of them are not really good. Really. That is an exception. Philip Kukla said the white is basically coming from the Maduro Robusto. So that was the source, the base, and that's what they were creating out of it. Good job. Let me tell you straight, it's not overly complex. All the aromas I had in the beginning, they are still there. Personal, I think the wood stepped up a little bit into one of these dark, oily woods. You know, I have more picture of a dark oak tree, and not so much of like a cedar wood stuff. Pepper almost vanished. It's still lingering somewhere in the background. I have it when I'm retrohaling the cigar, but normal puffing. Not longer. That coffee, that roasted coffee beans thing, where the sweetness is coming from, is still there. And that's it. That 3-4 aromas, they're like shaking hands from here to there. So from the first third to the second third, the aromas were changing a little bit in terms of the strength, but nothing new is coming up. So as I said, not overly complex, but a good cigar, which is complex enough to be not boring, because with that size, I don't know, man, it's like a 55 ring gauge, 5 inches long. It's like an extra Robusto, or maybe short Churchill. Robusto extra, double Robusto, maybe somewhere, I don't know how they call it officially. Larger than a usual Robusto. I like it. What I wanted to say is, you're smoking a while with it, so it's not boring, and that's a good thing. Good cigar, really. If you're living in Germany, Switzerland and Austria, you maybe have a chance to getting one of these. Other than that, hard, but maybe they expanding their business to somewhere else. Yeah, why not? I mean, we have American cigar manufacturers like Rocky Patel. They doing business here in Germany, right? Why not exporting a good German cigar to the United States? And that's a damn good cigar for the American palate. That's filling a spot over there, I think. But I'm not CigarKings. That's what I would do. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that unboxing plus smoking. I hope you can enjoy a good cigar. Enjoy life, most importantly. Stay safe and stay healthy, and I hope to see you around at Smokers Bar.